The cameras flashed.
The crowd froze.
And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
Picture the scene. It's Thursday, January 22nd, 2026.
We're in Los Angeles, but we're not at the Chateau Marmont. We're not at some glitzy movie premiere.
No, we're at the Superior Court of California.
And the man walking through those doors isn't some celebrity hiding from paparazzi. It's a man named Austin Sosa.
And he is making a beeline for the filing clerk. He looks very serious.
Focused. And he's holding a stack of papers that are about to detonate a bomb in the life of actress Jaime King.
And looking at his profile, he's probably the only person in that building who knows what an EBITDA margin is. He's an investment banker, not an actor.
But the story he's filing isn't about finance. It's about the collapse of a secret life.
Exactly.
This isn't just a breakup. It's the removal of the very last safety net for an actress who has already lost her home and lost custody of her children. Welcome to StarScope Report.
It's good to be here.
This is where we uncover the Hollywood drama, the music industry shakeups, and, yeah, the viral influencer scandals.
We go deep, right? Beyond the red carpet surprises and the social media controversies to find the real stories behind the fame.
And today, we're not just skimming TMZ headlines. We are trying to understand the anatomy of a complete collapse. We're looking at Jaime King. 2 divorces, lost custody, and now totally exposed.
And we have a huge stack of sources to get through. We've got the actual divorce petition from yesterday. We have fine hour regulatory reports on Austin Sosa, eviction lawsuit.
Unlawful detainers, I think, is the legal term.
That's the one. And the really harrowing custody rulings from 2025 involving her ex-husband, Kyle Newman.
Our mission today is to connect these dots. Because when you lay all these documents out, in order, it stops being just gossip. It becomes a case study.
Yeah.
How does someone go from starring in Hart of Dixie and Sin City, Hollywood royalty, to facing eviction, losing their kids, and entering a secret marriage that looks a lot less like a romance?
And a lot more like a survival strategy. It's a heavy story. It involves some really serious allegations of substance abuse, financial insolvency, and just this desperate attempt to find stability that just, well, it failed.
So let's dive into the breaking news from yesterday. Austin Sosa filed for divorce. But the shocker isn't the split, it's the marriage itself. They announced an engagement back in July 2025. I remember the ring photo, it was everywhere. But I don't remember the wedding photos in People magazine, did you?
No, and that's because they don't exist. According to the filing we have, the marriage was kept completely secret until this divorce petition hit the docket.
So no ceremony, no press release, nothing.
Nothing. And if you look at the timeline in these documents, the filing happens almost immediately after Jaime King's name popped up in the tabloids with another man.
Okay, let's talk about their other man rumor, because the timing is, it's incredibly suspicious.
Yep, really is.
Just weeks before Austin goes to the courthouse, Jaime is spotted with Vikram Chatwal.
Now, for anyone listening who doesn't follow the hotel industry, Chatwal is a very wealthy hotelier. He runs in very high-end social circles.
Right, the dream hotels guy. And they were spotted at the Chateau Marmont in his own restaurant, Bombay Palace, in early January.
So King's team immediately went into damage control. They told Page 6 these were strictly business meetings and that she was very happy with Austin.
Strictly business at the Chateau Marmont. That is a classic Hollywood line. The Chateau has a lot of history, but corporate boardroom is not the vibe there.
No, it's where you go to be seen, or maybe to hide in plain sight. It's a really difficult optic to manage, Yeah. You've got a secret husband at home, a finance guy who probably values discretion, and you're seen at a hotel famous for scandal with the socialite. You have to assume Austin Sosa, with his background, didn't really buy the strictly business excuse.
Well, that brings us to Austin Sosa. I think we need to spend a minute on him because he is such an outlier in this story. Usually in these Hollywood spirals, the partner's another actor, a director, maybe a musician. But this guy, we looked at his brokerage check report. He is the antithesis of Hollywood.
Absolutely. I pulled his FINERA reports. So for listeners, that's the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. They track bankers to make sure they're not committing fraud. Austin Sosa is a man of structure.
BYU grad.
Yep, Brigham Young University. Worked at Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, then as an investment banking analyst at Citigroup.
So his whole job is to look at something, strip away the hype, and ask, is this stable or is it toxic?
Exactly. He manages risk, and that's the crucial lens here. You have a man whose entire life is built on assessing risk, and then you have Jaime King, whose life has just been a whirlwind of chaos.
So he represented a safety net, a stabilizing force.
That's what the narrative seems to be.
A safety net that just snapped. But here's where the story gets really interesting. We know the marriage is over, but wait until you hear where Jaime was living when they actually met. It was not a Beverly Hills mansion. Let's just say the finance guy was doing a lot more than just buying her dinner.
It paints a very, very stark picture.
If you're shocked by this secret wedding, make sure you're subscribed. We dig through the court docs so you don't have to, and believe me, we've got even crazier stories ahead.
So let's follow that thread, the living situation, because it explains why this marriage to Austin was so critical for her.
Okay, so we have to rewind to 2024, early 2025. This is before the engagement. Jaime is still, technically on red carpets, but behind the scenes, she's facing a massive lawsuit from her landlord.
Right, this is that unlawful detainer suit. The documents show King owed over $42,000 in unpaid rent.
$42,000. And then the rent was what, like 10 grand a month?
$10,145 a month for a home in the Hollywood Hills.
Wow. And she just stopped paying.
She stopped paying. But what's really interesting is the defense she tried to use. In the filings, her lawyers claimed unavoidable hardship.
On what?
They cited the LA wildfires and, this is the key part, the insane legal fees from her custody battle. Basically saying, I have to choose between my lawyers or my rent.
That's a brutal choice. But for a landlord, that usually doesn't work as a reason to live somewhere for free.
It didn't. The landlord claimed she was staying there maliciously. The court sided with the landlord, and she was forced out in March 2025.
So she gets kicked out of her Hollywood Hills home. This is where the facade really cracks. Where does she go?
This is the detail that is it's shocking. Sources confirm that after the eviction, Jaime King moved in with Austin Sosa's parents.
Wait, hold on. His parents. She's a 46-year-old Hollywood actress with this long career, and she's living with her boyfriend's mom and dad.
That is what the reporting indicates, and the timeline moves so fast. She meets Austin through friends right during this housing crisis. By July, she's spotted with an engagement ring.
And she was even posting on Instagram, right? Thanking his family.
Yes, thanking Austin and his family, Pammy, Chase, Carlos, calling them family forever.
Family forever. 6 months later, he files for divorce. It feels like she was drowning, grabbed the nearest life raft, and now that raft is just completely deflated.
It's a tragedy of instability. And now with this divorce filing, she has lost her housing and her financial safety net all at once.
Losing a husband and a home is bad, but honestly, it pales in comparison to what happened in a courtroom just months before that wedding. Because while she was losing her house, she was losing something so much more important. Coming up, the shocking reason Jaime King isn't allowed to be alone with her own children.
Yeah, this is the hardest part of the story to get through, but it's essential to understanding everything else.
We're talking about the divorce from her first husband, director Kyle Newman. They were married for a long time, 2007 to 2020. The divorce was final in 2023, but the custody battle just kept going.
And in March 2025, right when she gets evicted, a judge dropped a bombshell ruling.
Devastating for her. Kyle Newman was awarded sole physical custody of their 2 sons, James and Leo.
And he also got tie-breaking authority on legal matters.
Let's unpack tie-breaking authority.
Yeah.
Because usually parents share legal custody, right? They have to agree on things like school and doctors.
Correct. You have to agree, or you go to a mediator. Tie-breaking authority means if they disagree, Kyle's decision is final. He doesn't need her permission. It's the court basically saying, we don't trust you to co-parent, so he's in charge.
And sole physical custody is really rare in California, isn't it? The courts there almost always push for 50-50.
It's extremely rare unless there's a compelling documented reason. And the restrictions on King they're severe. She's limited to supervised visitation only.
Supervised, so she can't even take her own kids for ice cream by herself.
No. The order is specific. 3 times a week, specific hour blocks, and an approved supervisor has to be there. Her mom, her sister, or Newman's brother. It's a monitor situation.
Why? I mean, what did the court find that made them take such a drastic step?
Well, the documents state that King failed to complete a court-ordered 6-month drug and alcohol rehab program.
6 months? That's not, a 30-day weekend in Malibu. That's intense.
It implies a serious, entrenched issue. And the requirements were rigorous. Weekly testing, aftercare, a 26-week parenting program. The judge found she was out of compliance.
And the allegations Newman made, I was reading through them, and they are terrifying.
They are harrowing. He alleged she's a chronic drug addict and alcoholic, and there were specific incidents cited. One allegation described King driving under the influence with the children in the car.
There was that one detail about the car ride that honestly just turned my stomach.
You're referring to the allegation where she was reportedly driving 60 miles per hour while one of the kids was hanging out of the side of the speeding vehicle.
It's a nightmare scenario, and there were claims about the pregnancies, too.
Yes. Newman alleged that King used opiates and alcohol while pregnant, and he claims that led to their son Leo being born with a congenital heart defect and addiction issues.
Okay, but we have to be fair. What does Jaime say about all this? Because if you listen to her on a podcast like Wind Down, you get a totally different story.
And that's the conflict. On that podcast, she denied everything. Said she hasn't used drugs since she was 17 or something. She claims she's a victim. That Newman is weaponizing her past against her.
But the court documents say she failed drug tests and didn't complete rehab.
Correct. And that's the friction. You have her public narrative, and then you have the legal reality, which is documented noncompliance. A court deals in toxicology screens, not podcast interviews.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next in this unfolding saga. We have to connect these dots. Eviction, custody loss, the secret marriage imploding. How does it all fit together?
If you look at the timeline, a pattern emerges. The custody ruling was March 2025. She lost her kids. The eviction was March 2025. She lost her home.
She hits rock bottom in March.
Exactly. And what happens right after? She gets into this relationship with Austin Sosa. The analysis suggests the marriage was likely a stabilizing effort.
A stabilizing effort. What does that mean in this context?
Well, think about what a family court judge wants to see. If you want custody back, you have to prove your circumstances have changed. You need a safe home, a stable partner, financial security.
So marrying a boring, stable investment banker from a good family, a guy whose FNRI report is spotless.
It looks fantastic on paper for a custody hearing. It screams, look, Judge, I'm not partying. I'm married to a risk manager. I live in a stable family home. It's a very strategic move to repair her image.
But now he's filed for divorce. So that argument is completely gone.
It's worse than gone. It backfires. Because now, to a family court judge, it just looks like more chaos. A second divorce in under a year?
Yeah, that reinforces the whole narrative that her life is just too volatile for kids.
Exactly. And legally, this divorce from Sosa will probably be quick. No kids, short marriage.
Right.
But the collateral damage is to her fight with Kyle Newman. Her secret life is now totally exposed. She can't present that front of stability anymore because the front just filed for divorce.
It's a house of cards that just came crashing down. And we haven't even really circled back to the strictly business meeting. But if the banker husband suspected she was cheating,
well, that could be the match that lit the fuse, but the fuel was already there. The financial stress, the legal stress, all of it. And you have to think about the toll on her. She lost her entire support system. Austin wasn't just a husband. He was her housing, her financial buffer.
Her link to a normal life.
Right.
So what does this all mean? Why should our listeners care about this? It's easy to just write it off as, rich people problems, even though she's apparently broke.
I think it's a grim reminder that fame isn't a shield. We look at celebrities and assume they have infinite resources, infinite second chances, but this story shows how fast the dominoes can fall.
It's almost mechanical, isn't it?
It is. You miss rent, you lose the house, you fail a court order, you lose the kids, you panic and marry for stability, you lose that marriage. It's a very human spiral, just played out on a public stage.
It makes you think about the difference between the Instagram image, the family forever captions, and the reality of eviction notices and supervised visits.
It really does. And it raises a big question about enabling versus supporting. Did this secret marriage actually help her address her underlying issues? Or did it just paper over the cracks for a few months and delay the inevitable crash?
That is the question. And as this divorce moves forward, we're going to find out if she can stand on her own 2 feet or if there's just another chapter of chaos waiting to be written.
One final thought to leave you with. In the divorce filing, Austin Sosa checked the box for irreconcilable differences. It's standard. But given that he works in risk management, that his job is to calculate when an investment has gone bad, you have to wonder, did he finally just run the numbers and decide the risk of staying was too high?
Oof. Did the banker finally cut his losses? That's a heavy thought. You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jaime uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.